Well, we're going to continue on here with the Otras Chaim. We're in the third PEREK of SHAAR HAAKUDIM. We finished the first TIKKUN, and there's been some time in between. So I want to see that we try to catch up a little bit on what it was that we learned the last time. If you look in your WhatsApp, you'll be able to see the last year. Anyway, we're on, if you have the SHAAR HAAKUDIM in the Otras Chaim with the Tiv it's on page Membet. So here's what the Rav says. We'll read the first part of the Rav, and then we'll read through the Tiv, try to catch up on some of the ideas of what are going on, of the oros that are coming out of the pad, the ak. Then Bina comes out. Let me see if I got the right place. I'm in the wrong place. We're on the one at the bottom of Omnam. Ramna Babila Kasser, when Kasser comes out, it's the last one to come out. Nimsas Malchus Shlema, we find that at that time the Malchus is already complete. B'kol Chamisha or Rosecha Penimish, it has a complete set of 5 lights, which we had said before, called Naranchi, Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chai Yechida. Shehem Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chai Yechida, he says it. But it still does not have all of the spheros as we mentioned previously, and we have to go into what did he mention previously. So they all came out missing. They were not complete. But this was in the intention of the Ma'atzel Baruch Hu. Mamash Kenizkar, as we mentioned before. So therefore the lights had to go back into the pad, the ak, towards the ma'atzel that brought them out. In order to be able to pick up as they go backwards what they're missing. But now, as they come back, so it goes back first. It's the first one to go back. So the rule by Kesser is that it goes out last and it comes in first. But on the Malchus, the Hafach Malchus is the opposite. It comes out first, it goes back last. Because it came out first, and then it entered in, and then it entered back into the pad, the ak, it's the last one. So the pasuk, this is the secret of a pasuk in Yeshaya. He says, Ani Rishon v'Ani Achron. I am first, I am last. So you could work this out, whether you're talking about Kesser, which comes out last and goes in first, or you're talking about Malchus, which goes out first and comes back last. Baby spheres of Malchus. Between it, either Kesser Malchus, Ella Shazeh, Hefech Zeh, but they're opposites. V'hu kamosha kasabdi, it is like I have written. Ki ani, the word ani, hu kinoi el hamalchus, because ani also goes along with the word ein, nothing. But hafacho ein, and the opposite of it is ein, hu kinoi el keser, which is another nickname or another substitute name for keser, which keser is very close to nothing. Let's go on. So now we're going to look at the Tiv. It's going to be in the bottom left column on page Membet if you have this sefer. So let's go and read just the light print. So he said, "Beperek hakodev ya'anu shekol or sheyantzach min nepeh garam ribui or." So any light that comes out of the mouth of Ak, it causes a multitude or an what's the right word? An ample amount of light. So if there are lights are already there and a new light comes out, which is a higher magnitude, then it causes the lower light to gain. So therefore, when the Kesser comes out last, and it is the last one to come out of the Pada'ak, so now the highest level of light that Malchus can attain, which is called the light of Yechida, comes as a result of the appearance of Kesser coming out of the Pada'ak. So now the Malchus, which was the first one to come out of the Pada'ak, Nishlaba b'kol chamisha or rasecho, which are called narantchi hapnimium shalom. Now here we have the concept of narantchi. Narantchi in Kabbalah always means or, light. Because in other places we have the word spheros, we have the words kalim, different kinds of things, and we understand that all of these things are some category of light. But when we use the word light itself, here the light really means this is the ultimate inside of everything. But there are two types of light, we said. There's an or panimi, the inside light, and there's also a more maki. So now all the or panimi, which is the narantchi of kopanimios, is all in malchus. Aglo kiblo the ranchi makifim, but they haven't received the oros makifim yet. So now we want to say like this: there is oros, which are called the ranchi panimi. There are 5 different levels of light and intensity that are inside of a kli or inside of a sphera. And there are also, though, 5 narantchi that are on the outside that surround it. It goes back to the lecture that we had before about the power of the lights that are outside, that they're so powerful they can't really stay inside. Shahare calls sphere in the Toisva Ba'abachin Nosef is because every sphere, as a result of the appearance of Kesser, because it's such a great magnitude, it's going to add on to all of the other lights that are down below it. As you see that when you have the whatever is up above it, something is up above it, adds to what's down below. So now that you have the aspect of Yechida, which is added as a result of the appearance of Kesser, so let's try to understand what he said. In the appearance of Kesser causes Malchus to become complete in Panemius, and as a complete Narantchi. It also adds on to every other sphera up the line. What does it add on to Zeranpin, which are the Bazah, he calls it Zah. So what does it add on to that? It adds on a Chaya. So Zah doesn't have a Yechida yet because there's no light strong enough to be able to bring that to Zah, but it's all the rest of the lights. 4 of the Narantchi are lit up in Zah. Also, Rak Bechin is the Shama, because there again it has the ability to light up 3 lights now because we have the Kesser comes out. Kulam, and all of them are something is added on the Narantchi scale, as we said previously, that we could look at this in terms of a bar of 5 lights. And the energy, they all might be lit up a little bit, but as the energy comes out from up above, it amplifies those lights so they become visible. But everything else is missing something. So if we have a Narantchi Panemium in Malchus, but we only have a Narantch in Chochmah, and we only have a Naran in Bina, and we're going to say we're only going to have a Ran in Chachma, and here we come over here to Kesser. Came out. It's the biggest light of all, but it's only a mal. It's only a nefesh. And because of the fact that the lights really need to have an Narantchi inside and an Narantchi outside, and they have to become completed that way, so therefore they return and they go back to their maker. The Pad which is in the Pad that is that the Ma'atzil brought all these lights down for the Ozen Chotim Pen. They came out of the mouth of Ak. But the Kesser stays up above. It's we're going to say that it doesn't come back. We'll talk about that. Clinging to the Matzel, and as the lights go back up, Alo Raka Oros Hazachim. Only remember we had this rule that only the more refined lights are the ones that actually come back. But the thicker lights that remain down below, and from them we then see that we have the beginnings of the vessels of the HAAKUDIM. So remember that we had the lights mixed up together, that we have the lights returning back to the Pad Ak. We have the light of Kesser is right there next to the Pad Ak. It goes right into the Ak. It doesn't really ever leave. And all the rest of the lights are going to start moving in a chain fashion as if they're on a train back into the Pad Ak. Now let's go to number B. Let's see, we have light print coming up here also here. So in number bet on page Men Gimel in the right column, anyone who would like to be able to get these books, these Otzers Chaim, from the TIV, they are available from the Sform Center. Or if you write to me at Baruch Menachem, BORUCHMENACHEM @gmail.com, we have also a fund that can send them to you. So it says, so he says, now we're going to say how the lights came out, as we're going to explain. First came out the Malchus, Malchus, then after Malchus came out, then you have what we call Zer Anpin. Zer Anpin is 6 different pieces, 6 different corners, and which really make up the body, like the concept of a body. Then Bina comes out, and the last of all of them, Ketzer. Nimsa the Fizeh Ketzer hu hakara v'yoser halapezer. Now we see that Ketzer is right next to the mouth of Ak. Shaharei hu yotze b'achrona, because it's the last one to come out. There's nothing else coming out. So we see as the spheros are going back and they're returning into the mouth of Ak. And then we see that the order of the way that they go back is going to be the opposite of the way they come out. So since Kesser came out last, now we say it's right next to the pad Ak, so it's going to be the first one to go back. The Akrov Olim Chachma, and then afterwards Chachma goes back. Bina, and then the Chagat Nai, which is Chesed Gevura Netzach, Chesed Gevura Tiferes, Netzach Od Yisod, and we pronounce it Chagat Nai. So the Malchus also Acharona, the Malchus goes up, it's the last one to go up. So we see therefore that the Kesser came out last, it's going to go back first. But whereas Malchus, we see it came out first, but also Acharona, but it goes back last. Ba'ofen she'malchus chesed b'chutz l'peh Ak, in a way that Malchus was outside of the mouth of Ak, of Zman Rav Yosef B'Shar Spheros, much longer than most of the rest of the Spheros. 1 second. Let me see if I can put this on point. So I had a little interruption there. So at the very bottom of the first column on page Mem Gimel, this episode Pasuk, this is the secret of the Pasuk. Ani Rishon v'ani Achram, I am first, I am last. Shabo Meromazim Spheros Kesser Malchus. That's very interesting because Kesser and Malchus have a powerful relationship, but it is that the Malchus is sometimes Kesser, but Kesser of a different dimension. So that the Kesser of the highest dimension is actually the Malchus of a dimension that's higher than that. Malchus, Keha Malchus Nikras Ani. So this is the Tiv. Tiv likes to rephrase, so it's good for us. So he says, Keha Malchus Nikra Ani, Vakesser Nikra Ein. Shuhu Osios Ani. They're the same letters, just switch them around. So we can explain this in 2 different ways. One way we could say it about Kesser, another way we could say it about Malchus. So the first way is like this. That it's called I. It's called Ani. He Rishon Litziyim Ak. It's the first one that comes out of the mouth of Ak. So this is also the last one as it goes back into the mouth of Ak. It's going to be the last one in. So the next way of looking at it is switch the letters around. And the Ketzer is called nothing. So he said, Osios Ani, which is the letters. Ani also switched around. It's the last one that comes out of the pad Ak. So therefore, it's going to, when the train reverses itself, it's going to be the caboose, which is actually the big guy on the block. It's going to go back into the pad Ak. Because it's the first one to go back. So if you ask this question, well, where do we see something like this? a Kesser Malchus. How is it possible that you could have one idea here was ayin and ain, ayin or ain and ani? How could you do that? So it's like this. It says that that which is the greatest thing that we could possibly appreciate, who's spheres of Malchus. That's Malchus. Shaharega olam atachton, the olam enu yochel lahasig as a olam ha'elyon imen. Now let me see if I understand. Let me try to translate this again because I'm getting a lost. So he says that whether that the greatest revelation or showing sheniten lahasig that is given to be able to receive, whose spheres of Malchus is Malchus. Now how does that? Shahare ha'olam atachton la'olam eino yochel lahasig as ha'olam ha'elyon imena, because whatever is down below is not able really to be able to reach what is up above it. But what it is that the lower world can reach the malchus of the upper world. In other words, if you're standing here in the earth, it is a very low place. You want to reach Hashem. What aspects of Atzilut would you be able to reach? The only one you would be able to reach would be the bottom of what's up above you. So he says, Ani is like saying, here I am. That has been placed in such a way that we could reach that Malchus, the Malchus of the next dimension, which in our case is that we're living in the world of Malchus. So the next would be Zer Anpin, we would be able to relate directly to the lower part of Zer Anpin. So what is the level that we could be able to reach by this concept of Ani? The Hainde Bederek, his karvos alo alamos, that is when we talk about coming closer and trying to, as we see in Rebbe Memran, when he's talking about the ultimate idea is to cleave to Hashem, be able to get to the higher level and cleave to it and make it internal to us. What part of that could we really get to? It would be the lowest part. That would be the Malchus of the Ein Sof Baruch Hu. Who rock b'spheres of Malchus, that it's only that part of the Smalach. The Zeh Machtis as Midas of Malchus b'Shem Melech. And this is the way that we understand the Midah of Malchus in the concept of it's being a king. Ki raka yedera b'chinas Melech shehi spheres of Malchus, that only through the aspect of the ruler, which in this case is Malchus, on the Korovim Alav l'Hasigu, that we can come closer to Hashem, to the higher word, to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and be able to reach it. So let's take the words Ani. Here I am. I'm the Ani that you could reach. Ani, Azaihu Ein. Then we say it's Ein or Ayin, however you want to pronounce it. Hamaramaz al Keser Shuhu Ne'elam B'Yoser, which is really talking about Keser, which is something that's completely, very totally hidden, and you can't reach it at all. V'i Efsher L'Hasigu Klal. It's not possible to reach it. V'Kevin Shakain, so since that's the case, Nitin the Drosh as Zerach Pasuk, so therefore now we have a Drosh on this Pasuk. Hein ala Keser v'Hein ala Malchus, whether we're talking about Keser on the Malchus, so we see there's something that's reachable, something that's not reachable, something is reachable is called Ani, like here I am here. The other one is called Ein because it's not reachable. Rak Shehem Zeh Hefech Zeh, they are opposites of each other. Kasher Dorshim as a pasuk on the Malchus, that when we make a drasha on the pasuk, we're talking about Malchus. Azayhu Hefek b'Mash Mefarshim Alakes is going to be the opposite. That is something reachable, some spiritual aspect, some cleaving that we can do, and Devekas that we can do with the spiritual aspect, but that we could do with that has to do with our relationship to the Malchus of the Partzuf, or the system that is up above us, or that is more panimi, that we can't reach. We can reach. Whereas when we talk about Keser, B'Kein Kasher Darshim as a pasuk of the Keser, when we want to take the pasuk and we want to darshan it in regards to Keser, who Hefech Mimash Mefarshim Ala Malchus, is going to be the opposite. Is going to be unreachable, unknowable, and only we understand certain things from the Ari as we will see as we go on, and what we can do with Keser.